Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. As we left off, we began this game, and we're going to play as Mia, one of her second case in her career. It turns out that Phoenix is suspected of killing one of his fellow students. Let's hear what he has to say about that. The victim and I. I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Okay. I see. So you hardly knew the victim. Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer. Phew. Well, it looks like the judge understands. You're being naive, you know. Too naive. Huh? Well, it seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady. And that would be... this witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination. Cross-examination? He's right. It's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if the witness's testimony contains any contradictions. Contradictions? If the witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record. But Mr. Wright's my client! Even if he is your client, in court, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see. What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie? A contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Better not. Alright, so here's our first cross-examination in the game. I'm sure, if you see my other LPs, you know how it works, but in case you haven't, you can go ahead and filter through or select certain statements that he says. And you can either press on a statement which kind of like elaborates more on a certain statement, and you could get more information out of that, which could lead to a contradiction, or it could lead to a nice point in the case. You can also present evidence in a certain statement. This, you're going to have to present a certain piece of evidence that completely the statement contradicts with that piece of evidence, so that person would be lying. The thing is, though, if you see in the top right corner, there is a green bar. That is essentially, you could call it your health bar for this game. What happens is, if you present a wrong piece of evidence, or to the wrong statement or something like that, or you choose a wrong selection, a piece of it will be diminished, and you'll get an automatic guilty verdict, or you get a game over once the entire bar is gone. So you're gonna have to watch out for that. And there are times where there are certain pieces of evidence that have more, some situations that have more consequences, I guess, for the action you take. Like, there are certain items, like later on in the game, that if you choose the wrong answer, the whole entire bar can just go like that. So watch out for that. So, going through his statement again, he said he hardly knew the guy to begin with, but he never talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. That seems kind of specific if he never knew the guy, so let's go ahead and press on that. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right! I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Achoo! Well, Mr. Wright? Oh, no, it wasn't me! I'm not the killer, I swear! Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe? Yes, well... he was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Alright, well, let's take a look at this piece of evidence right here. Look at the crime photo. Doesn't didn't seem like he was wearing it there. So that's a contradiction. So we go ahead and present that as an objection. Well, she will say objection when you present it.
Objection!
My favorite word now. Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Well, yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back. Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning? Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing written on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute! He's wearing a leather jacket! The Union Jack was on the back of his t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You wouldn't have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me! Please forgive me! No. Mia, you made our client cry! Let him! That peon is just doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways! What does that mean, Mia? Oh my god, I might be thinking dirty here, but... Mia! I can't believe I trusted him! Mr. Wright was all wrong! That was an impressive bit of cross-examination! Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. That would be my phone. Appropriate for this game. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Alright. So, he says that, oh, you know, because of the examination, oh, you didn't stumble upon it. Okay. Ugh. Uh-oh. Did I go too far? By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... Was the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right. It kills cold good. Hey, wait a second. How'd you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does it even have anything to do with this case? Mr. Wright, should I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? Your Honor, I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene. Ah, what's this? It's in the victim's hand. It's Cold Killer X! Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belonged to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. What? This is not looking good at all. We just started. Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped on Mr. Wright, and held it in his hand. His purpose in doing so is so that only... Hold on, let me reread that again. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright. Uh-oh. Order! Order in the court! Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence. Very well. This court will accept them into the record. Oh, great. This is not good at all. Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken. Broken? Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have your kind of explanation for all this? This is really bad. Oh, my buttocks. My poor hemorrhoids. Oh, that's disgusting. Well, let's see what Phoenix has to say about this. What really happened? The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then around 3 we split up. Then later when I went back, I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. Achoo! Achoo! I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible. Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright. Don't tell any more lies. Oh, jeez. Well, let's see. Well, let's get more information here. Okay, he met him because he was in the pharmacology department? Why? Let's press on that. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there on the right time. Right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVI. An alchemist. I see. I gotta admit, I was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. I was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating! He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details. The timing isn't so big, but the pharmacology department. Yeah, we'll know more about that. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are very high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables. Yeah, there are electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. I think we are as well. Let's see. What else can we do here? Okay, he lost his bottle around lunchtime. Maybe you can elaborate more on that. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly. Just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Youch! Why'd you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. Wow, okay. I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. However, there is one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honor? How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, that is... You are correct, Your Honor. So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Can we establish a murder method? I believe we can. Your Honor! Yes, Miss Fay? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Faye, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. Well, we can do this now, I guess. So, we're looking at crime photo. We can see that he's dead here. But if you can look at it correctly, you'll see what's wrong with this photo and how he could have died. It's not hard. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, what exactly in this photo is a murder weapon? Remember how Phoenix was saying that there's electrical wires hanging everywhere and they use high voltage electricity? I think that could electrocute someone enough to kill them. So just go ahead and present on the wire. That's another tactic here. You're gonna have to sometimes point out stuff in like pictures or whatnot, or diagrams. So you gotta pick up usually the general area and you just click present. Well, naturally, it's right here. That's what is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard? The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. So then, the high voltage cables... Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation. That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high-voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what they really implies here. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was... the defendant! Achoo! That much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was a murderer. You do? Well, what is it? His fingerprints. Fingerprints? You mean the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. As you may know, leather holds fingerprints as well. Quite well. You mean... Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand. What? I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable. Oh, God. Order! 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 That's enough! I think we can conclude that there's no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us, we're done. Mr. Grossberg! My hemorrhoids never lie. The show's over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No! You're wrong! Mr. Wright is innocent! No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt. Your Honor! At this time, I'm prepared to render a verdict in this case. Nice job, Mia. Do you have something further to add, Miss Faye? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth. The whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Faye, no matter what you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute! Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further... I did it. I admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Duck Swallow's dead. That's not what I wanted to hear. Aw, crap. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, sorry, there might be like a little weird cut there, but whatever. It's pretty much just a reiteration of what happened here. So he wanted to say something about that girl. We don't know who he's talking about just yet. But we can clearly see Phoenix pushing him. Yeah, this is not good. Why is he sweating? What you just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid if I told the truth, everyone would think I was a murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Faye? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim. Oh, it feels like my hemorrhoids are doing a Harlem Shake. Ew. Well, in any case, guys, this video went on for actually a little longer than I wanted to, but next time we're going to hear what Phoenix has to say about all this. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. I'll see you guys later.